All right, welcome to today's explainer, the doubling penny and the power of paperless ideas. Today, we're going to completely flip how you capture and scale your professional ideas. We're talking about escaping that trap of the static document and stepping into a world of dynamic, compounding knowledge. Let's jump right in with a classic thought experiment that's going to perfectly set the stage for everything we cover today. So, picture this. You've got two offers on the table for the next 30 days, and you have to pick one. Offer A is a flashy, guaranteed $100,000 paid to you every single day for a straight month. Offer B, just one single penny on day one, but it doubles every single day after that. Now, if you're like most of us, your gut instinct is to immediately grab that 100 grand. I mean, it feels huge, it feels safe, and frankly, a single penny kind of just feels like a rounding error, right? It feels like nothing. And hey, that instinct is completely reasonable. But, as we're about to see, it is also completely wrong. Now, what's really interesting about this is what happens late in the game. You'd think the penny would catch up quickly, wouldn't you? But look at this figure for day 24. On the 24th day of a 30-day cycle, that doubling penny has only reached roughly $83,000. Think about that. Through almost the entire month, Offer B is still paying out less per day than that safe $100,000 option. If you chose the penny for 3.5 weeks, you frankly look a little foolish. The math looks incredibly boring, and the exponential curve is so flat, it basically looks like a straight line. And you know what? This is exactly where most people give up on their ideas, right before the magic actually happens. And then, boom, we hit the explosive inflection point. On day 25, the penny jumps past 100 grand. And by the time we hit day 30, that doubling penny is paying out more in a single day than the $100,000 offer pays across the entire month. We're talking over $5 million on day 30 alone. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that exponential growth just isn't intuitive, mostly because those early stages are practically invisible. And here's the kicker. This mathematical truth doesn't just apply to your bank account. It directly applies to how we manage our professional ideas in the modern workplace. Let's map this financial thought experiment directly to the way you work. Offer A, that flat 100K a day, is a lot like a flashy, fully polished presentation that you export as a static PDF. It looks fantastic on day one, it pays out its value once, but then it never grows. It is completely static. Offer B, our doubling penny, well, that's like a rough sketch, a napkin idea, or a one-pager hosted on a live web link. Sure, it starts small and looks totally unimpressive next to that polished PDF. But because it's a dynamic knowledge product, it can be continuously refined, reshared, and updated without ever having to be rebuilt from scratch. It compounds. But hey, to even reach that compounding stage, you actually have to capture the idea first. And right here, we hit a literal biological roadblock, the working memory bottleneck. You've got roughly 15 to maybe 30 seconds before a sudden insight or a brilliant epiphany begins to degrade in your brain. Give it a few minutes, and it might vanish entirely if you don't capture it. Your brain's buffer just clears itself out. You have to urgently memorialize that spark. Write it down, sketch it out, type it up within that tiny 30-second window, or honestly, it's just gone forever. Now, once you actually manage to write that idea down before it vanishes, you enter this fascinating but often really difficult phase. Every professional starts in what we might call the waiting place, just kind of going along with the group, accepting broken processes. But the second you spot a flaw and come up with a real idea to fix it, you break free. And the moment you break free, you realize something pretty daunting. You are completely alone. No one else sees what you see yet. No one else has the time or the budget to help you build it. It can feel incredibly isolating. But here is the massive reframe I want you to walk away with today. Being alone with your idea, that is not a problem. In fact, it is your moment of supreme decision-making power. Think about it. There's no bureaucratic committee in the room yet. Nobody is there to slow your idea down, water it down, or gatekeep your early-stage improvements. You don't have to wait for an official review board just to fix a typo or update a standard. You have the total, absolute freedom to take that idea and just start building it into something that can actually scale. So how do we scale it? Well, ask yourself a super simple question. Is it easier to get people on the same page with a physical piece of paper or a QR code? Seriously, think about it. Let's say you discover a critical typo or some vital new piece of information that belongs in a printed handout. How many copies have to be thrown in the actual trash and physically replaced? It's a total nightmare. Now imagine correcting a single web page linked to a QR code. One fix, and it is instantly correct everywhere, for everyone, forever. Which one of those actually scales? No contest, right? Think about it like a weather forecast printed in a daily newspaper. Even if they print it completely fresh every single morning, it is already incomplete and outdated by the time you're drinking coffee at your kitchen table. The weather is dynamic, but the paper is stubbornly static. It is literally absurd to trap dynamic, ever-changing information in a single-use format. A live web link, on the other hand, updates the very moment the forecast changes. We really need to treat our professional ideas just like that weather forecast. They need to live in a continuous, accurate, entirely paperless ecosystem. Now, you're probably thinking, sure, digital is better than paper, we all know this. Yes, absolutely. But look at how drastically the math has changed over time. Back in 1998, $1 bought you exactly one floppy disk. It held a measly 1.44 megabytes and honestly took 30 seconds just to load up. If you handed it to a colleague, you gave them one static version. Period. Fast forward to today, approaching 2026. That same single dollar buys you enough laser toner to print 5,000 QR codes. And each of those codes acts as a doorway that can transmit gigabytes of data in those exact same 30 seconds. Bandwidth has completely exploded and distribution costs have plummeted to basically zero. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when you combine that zero-cost distribution with continuous updates. The results are just staggering. Compare iteration 1 on the left to iteration 12 on the right. With the cloud-first paperless platform, you can implement thousands of tiny rapid-fire updates, fixing a spelling blemish, tweaking a color, maybe adding a brand new industry standard. It costs less than a penny of electricity and a few kilobytes of bandwidth. You are literally compounding the value of your idea day by day, making it exponentially bigger and better, just like that doubling penny. Which brings us to a really powerful, highly actionable formula: knowledge velocity. It equals a small idea multiplied by the combination of human learning and machine learning. The result? Improvement cubed. See, when your idea lives behind a live web link, your colleagues can continuously jump in and add their human feedback and hard-earned lessons. At the exact same time, AI tools and machine learning can automatically apply formatting fixes and industry standards, working right there in the background. Your small idea doesn't just sit there gathering digital dust. It dynamically synchronizes and it compounds exponentially. So when you're flying solo on that initial idea and you don't have some massive governance committee guiding your every move, you just need a simple framework to drive this continuous improvement. It's a set of first principles we call the conjurate behaviors. Step 1, make less bad. Just fix the glaring, obvious errors. Step 2, make better. Improve what is already functional. Step 3, make excellent. Polish the whole thing until it truly shines. And because making these changes on a digital, paperless knowledge product is essentially free, the cost-benefit analysis of doing this, it literally always works out in your favor. This perfectly ties into a famous maxim from Philip B. Crosby: quality is free. Now, he didn't mean that quality requires zero effort. What he meant was that the cost of doing it right, through continuous, tiny, incremental improvements starting right from day one, is dramatically lower than the cost of realizing your static idea is totally broken on day 29 and then having to rebuild the entire thing from scratch. Compounding small improvements early on is incredibly cheap. Starting over, that is what's expensive. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this really provocative final question to chew on today. Look closely at the work you did this week. Is your idea actually built to compound, or is it trapped in a static, single-use PDF? Don't let your absolute best insights die on day one just because they look like a single penny. Build them as machine-readable, paperless knowledge products right from the very start, and then just watch them exponentially scale. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see what you all build.